Related.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in today's video is extremely different. This channel that we're about to watch is called Investing Made Simple. Robert Kiyosaki versus Dave Ramsey, who will make you rich? Okay, so I ain't no professional on how to make money or how to invest your money, but for me, when I was young, I really wanted to learn how to manage my money correctly. So literally I was going to the library, I was going to Barnes and Noble, and I was reading any book that had to do with financial literacy because I needed to figure out how to save my money, how to budget correctly, and how to be disciplined. So this video is to help everybody that is going through financial problems, and obviously it's very expensive, and hopefully people are able to save their money, budget it correctly, and be able to live a life that is comfortable and not having to stress about financial money problems. So I read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and I have read Dave Ramsey's Baby Steps. For me, the Dave Ramsey helped me to save money and have an emergency fund because everyone's life and financial situation is different. So I'm just telling you what worked for me. Let's go ahead and watch this video and see who will make you rich realistically. So let's watch the video.
Robert Kiyosaki and Dave Ramsey are both multi-millionaires. They are both best-selling authors, both financial educators, but with one big difference. When it comes to how to achieve financial freedom, they both teach completely different things.
Yes, they do.
One advises to get into debt, where the other's main focus is to get out of debt. One advises to invest in the stock market, and the other doesn't like stocks. One advises to start your own business, and the other never really mentions it. So what is going on? Who is right, and who is more likely to make you rich? Well, that is what this video is all about. So in this video, we'll be looking at Dave Ramsey's plan for financial freedom, Robert Kiyosaki's plan for financial freedom. I'll give you clarity on why both plans are different, and then you can see which one is going to be right for you.
Exactly. You got to see what's right for you in your current situation, and of course, just see what compare and contrast, just see what works for you. And of course, this video that I'm making is to educate young people, in order to help themselves, because I wasn't taught this at all, man. My parents just told me save money. I'm not saying they're bad parents. They would just say save money. I wasn't ever taught about how money works. So this video is to help people, especially young adults, to literally manage their money correctly and not have to struggle and have an emergency fund when things happen in life, So let's get into it.
Firstly, let's take a look at both plans for financial freedom. First up, we have Dave Ramsey. Ready? Let's do this.
Dave Ramsey, man.
And Dave Ramsey has what he calls his 7 baby steps.
This is what I was talking about.
And number 1 is that you start building your emergency fund. Number 2 is you pay off all of your debt using a debt snowball method. And this just means you don't pay off the ones with the highest interest rate, you pay off the ones with the lowest amount that you've borrowed. Number 3 is that you save 3 to 6 months of expenses, and this is your full emergency fund. Number 4 is you begin investing 15% of your income for retirement, and this mainly will be going into the stock market. And if your employer allows, you'll also max out the contributions that you and your employer put in. Number 5 is you save for your children's college fund. Number 6 is you pay off your home early, so once everything else is being done, you aggressively pay off your home mortgage. And I guess the assumption would be if you don't yet have your own home, then you would buy a home to live in. And number 7, from there you just continue to build your wealth and give back.
Okay, so I like this steps because it's realistic and it can help people if they're going through whatever they're going through, They don't have money, they need to figure out a plan, and this plan is extremely realistic and it can work. So for me, I did save $1,000 already in my emergency fund, And then now I am paying off all my debt, which is the bad debt, loans, credit cards, car payment, stuff like that, right? And what I'm trying to do now is save 3 to 6 months of expenses, because things happen. Your car might break down. Um, what else? Your phone might break. What else? You might have vision problems. You got to go pay the doctor. Like, things happen in this life, man. And if you don't have an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses, let's say your arm doesn't work and you don't have work and you can't even work, and you're injured and you can't work, like, how you going to make the money, man? Like, it's just horrible, man, the way this system is. So literally, save yourself. You got to save yourself, man. And that's what I'm trying to do, is save myself. So I did save 3 to 6 months of expenses. I'm doing that, 2 and 3 at the same time. I'm not doing just two, pay off all debt. I'm doing 2 and 3 at the same time. But anyway, and then once that happens, we can invest 15% for retirement. So for me, I have this job, I have a 401k, but what I think is really more important is not relying on a job for your 401k. Like, yes, do it, but things happen and you could possibly get fired, hurt, whatever the case, right? And then that money is not generating at all no more. So what I would recommend is, for invest 15% for retirement, is slash Roth IRA, because that's like your personal account where you could put money into it, which is, you put your money into the S&P 500, and then over the years it will grow. And you do it for the long term, though, until you're like 65 or whatever the age requirements, in order to get that money back tax free. So yeah, that's what I would do. So 5 is great, save for children's college fund. Obviously you have to do that if you're deciding to have children. 6, pay off home early. That's a great one too, so you could be extremely debt free. You don't have to worry about the house payment. You're good to go. 7, build wealth. Build wealth, obviously that means like investing in real estate again, or whatever the case might be for you to build wealth. And giving's cool. It just shows that you're trying to help people out, and giving's a nice thing. It is very selfish, but of course at the end you're doing it out of your heart. You're not doing it for the likes or the views. If you do it out of your heart, then that's a good thing. All right, let's continue.
So that was Dave Ramsey's plan for financial freedom. Next up, let's take a look at the key teachings of Robert Kiyosaki.
All right.
Take a look.
Robert. Let's hear Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki.
And having read over 10 books from the Rich Dad Company, and I also had a Rich Dad coach for a certain amount of time, I can summarize Robert's key teaching in just 3 principles. Number 1 is that you own your own business. It's very difficult to build wealth with just a job. Number 2 is that you invest in property, utilizing the benefits of debt and taxes. And number 3, you buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. He loves hard assets.
So yeah, this is great advice, obviously. And I'm going to give you some examples. So my best friend's dad, he has a business. He has 25 employees. And he obviously is a very wealthy man. He's got his pool in the backyard. He's got a nice house in the rural area. He's got a Cadillac. He's got a lake house with a boat, with a Corvette in the garage. So obviously that shows you that having a business, but it's a construction business. Obviously a construction business is very difficult. It's not easy. You have to have that drive to keep learning and figure out things. And he is just mentally strong and mentally tough. So obviously not everyone's like that, but that just shows you that having a business is what makes you wealthy, obviously. And then investing in real estate, there's people that are broke. There's people that are real estate agents. They make money by commission, and of course it's very difficult because you got to sell a house. So obviously real estate as well, and buying the properties and renting them out to people and getting a monthly income. I've never done that. I don't know how it works, but I'm assuming that's how it works. And then buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. So I never done the Bitcoin thing. I was always iffy about that. But I do have silver, but I do not have gold. But I do have presidents. I have dollar coins that are presidential coins, dollar coins, and I noticed that these are actually worth something like later on because they're coins. So I try my best to um, keep the coins so that I could sell them for more, hopefully in the future, because coins, I would say, it might be worth something later on. They're dollar coins, presidential coins like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, so on. All right, let's continue.
Assets. So, two multimillionaires, both teach financial education, yet both advise completely different things. Confusing? Well, as with many things in finance, it's no wonder people find it all contradictory and confusing. So let me now show you how I make sense of these teachings and strategies. As I came from a background in financial marketing, I think it all has to do with market segments. Let me give you a visual. Take a look.
Skip.
So think of this picture as the population. It could be of the US, it could be the UK, it could be the world. Now, this could be 70-30 or it could be 90-10, but for simplicity, let's just go with 80-20. Starting with this group of people, this is obviously the majority of people, and the majority of people does have some kind of debt. They don't really have an active interest in finances or investing, and so in general, they have a lower financial IQ. And this market segment, the 20%, this is obviously a niche market. Now, these people do value financial education and they do have an interest in finance and investing. And I can say if you're actually watching this video today, then you're probably in this 20% group by default. And so this segment of people will have a higher financial IQ. And so for these people, Dave Ramsey's work and plan would be excellent. And for these people, it would be Robert Kiyosaki's.
So I'm obviously on the Dave Ramsey side. Majority debt, no interest, financial IQ. I am in debt with my car payment, and that's it. Like literally, that is it. That's literally it, man. I paid off my phone, credit cards, loans. That is literally it, man. I don't have no debt. After I pay out my car, zero debt. That's it, man. For the Robert Kiyosaki side, if you find a niche that works, that people value and are interested in, obviously people are gonna, want to buy your product, whatever the case might be, and their financial IQ is they're very smart, which is the 20%.
And plan that would be most suited. Now, let's just take a quick look at what the average person looks like. We'll do people in the US as it's the largest market, but it really doesn't differ that much from country to country. Starting with millions of Americans live paycheck to paycheck.
Not me.
Roughly half of Americans say they've saved less than $500 in the past 3 months. A great website, NerdWallet, which I will link to below, shows the typical amount of debt that people hold. The average person holds about $6,500 in credit card debt.
Wow. That is insane, man. Mortgage, auto loans, student loans, credit cards. That is ridiculous, man. Man. No wonder people are living paycheck to paycheck, man. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I got that from Dave Ramsey.
Mortgage size is about $200,000. Auto loans is about $30,000. And student loans is approximately $60,000. Now, the good thing this also shows is that year on year, credit card debt has been reducing almost 12%. So I think people are getting more switched on that credit card is the worst kind of debt. And the one that's increased the most is student loan debt. Some stats from Spend Me Not. Just 39% of Americans have enough cash to cover a $1,000 emergency. A third of Americans saved nothing for retirement. Just over 70% of Americans' retirement plan is just to keep working.
Wow.
40% of Americans have saved less than $300. And the pandemic has only made things worse. 63% of Americans had their personal finances affected by the pandemic. Almost half of Americans have missed one or more rent or mortgage payments since the outbreak.
Yeah, man.
16% say they have more debt now than before the pandemic.
That's insane, man.
And a third say they've had some kind of decreased income due to the virus. So most people are in some kind of debt. Many people are living paycheck to paycheck. And for most people, starting a business is not good advice. Now,
It's not good advice. You're going to be more into debt. But of course, if you keep it going and don't quit, you can make it work. It's just that you can't quit. And of course, you got to figure out what niche will work, you know, like plumbing, electrician, like those are going to work, obviously. That's a guarantee, you know. And you got to build trust. You know, construction business, I would say it would work, but anyways, everyone's situation is different.
me, I think most people should start with Dave Ramsey's steps up until a point. When people have 3 to 6 months of expenses in the bank, when people have cleared off all of the bad debt, and when people have some of the key financial habits, then people can look at the more advanced strategies of starting a business or buying rental properties.
Yes.
Make sense? So, just coming back to the plans, we can see that the first ones are just great advice for people to save $1,000, to pay off all of the bad debt, and to have 3 to 6 months of expenses in the bank. Then I would say once you get to about here, you have the option. You can...
Yes, you have this is extremely the best advice you can do right now. You can either, on the bottom, you don't even have to do all that stuff. You can literally, after the 3 to 6 months of expenses, that's when you're like, okay, I want to start a business. I want to start, you know, that's when you can actually, you know, have that emergency fund, you know, which is the 3 to 6 months of expenses to actually, you know, give yourself a window, you know. That's the greatest advice ever, man. And hopefully, you know, whoever's watching can learn and, you know, just live a life that is, you know, pretty much debt free, you know, or whatever you want, you know, maybe you have a better plan, but this is great advice for anybody who's trying to get out of their situation. So let's continue.
With Dave Ramsey's plan, which is much more low risk, but takes more time, investing 15%, paying off your home early, or you can speed up the process and begin building your own business and investing in rental properties. You can build wealth much faster, but you are going to have to invest hundreds of hours of your time.
And
two
risk.
multi-millionaires, both financial educators, but with very different plans. But at least now you can see they are in fact suited to different groups of people. For the vast majority of people, Dave Ramsey's plan is excellent. Solid advice that applies to the vast majority of people. And I kind of see it as a 30-year plan that is very low risk. However, just bear in mind that you probably won't be able to retire within 5 to 10 years with Dave Ramsey's baby steps. Okay, ready for a big epiphany moment? Ironically, Dave Ramsey used Robert Kiyosaki's plan to get rich. Think about it. He doesn't have a job. He has a business.
Yes.
And he built a lot of his wealth using real estate. And so Robert Kiyosaki's plan is suited to people with a higher financial IQ. And they are willing and or able to be working evenings, weekends, reading books, doing courses, etc. And so obviously it gives you the opportunity to build wealth and make money much faster. With a business, it is possible to build wealth within 5 to 10 years. But just know you are taking on a lot more risk and you're going to have to invest hundreds of hours of your time. So there you are, guys. Hope this now all makes sense. You can see the benefits of both plans, why they teach what they teach, and which plan is going to be right for you. Just then, if you enjoyed anything...
All right, so... yes, we forgot about that. Dave Ramsey has his own building, which is the Dave Ramsey Show, where he teaches people about money. He sells books, he has employees, and he's obviously a business owner and invests in real estate. So yeah, you can go either or, which way you want to go. But anyways, this is great advice for us to learn, for us to pretty much just get out of this financial situation that we're in, because I know a lot of people are frustrated, or they want to figure out a way to build wealth, but not of course get rich, just to like live a life that doesn't have to be struggling financially anymore, so anyways, thank you guys for watching. And this is to encourage people to become wealthy, or just take back control of their life, so that they don't have to struggle anymore. This is to help people that are going through stuff financially, and just figure out a step that you can take for yourself and for your family, whatever the case might be. But anyways, guys, thank you, and I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving as well. See you guys in the next video.